Hey guys, welcome. In this video, you will learn how I spot liquidity and trade on the right side of the market. Now, if you're new to the concept of liquidity, I will recommend you watch this video as I explain liquidity concepts from basic to advanced. The link will be in the description or somewhere around this video. But in this video, we will be going a step further to actually identify and trade this liquidity. Now, the first step of identifying liquidity would be to determine market structure and institutional order flow. So right here on AUDJPY on the 4-hour time frame, we can see that the market structure is currently bearish. So instinctively, we will expect price to trade to this particular low. So let's see what price does. So right now we can see that price has taken out this particular swing low right here. So this is actually a liquidity right here to the sell side. So price has stacked that liquidity, but we want to see price actually break structure. That will confirm that price is now bullish. Otherwise, we want to see price trade all the way to this particular low right here. So let's see what price does. So right here, we see price has given us a break of structure right here. This confirms that currently price is going to keep pushing to the buy side. As we can see also the momentum of the next candle after the break of structure. So let's see what price does. We can now see that price has actually taken out this low also right here, giving us more confirmation that the market is truly bullish. So now, how do we find an entry? So we'd actually like price to come into any of these fair value gaps or to this institutional swing point, or probably give us somewhat of a stop hunt or liquidity sweep. So that is going to give us a confirmation for an entry. So let's see what price does. And there you have it. So we can see how price trades into this particular fair value gap right here, also running this particular swing low right here, which is liquidity, and giving us this bullish momentum candle right here. So we could actually go down to lower time frames to refine and frame our setups, or we could actually enter right here on this particular time frame. But here are a few things I want us to note. You can see how price run this particular high right here and run this liquidity right here. A lot of people would have thought that this was a break of structure to the sell side. That price was going to start selling. But this is how market structure and liquidity would actually help you. You can see we had a fair value gap right here. So the moment price trades into that fair value gap, you can see the weak rejection on this particular candle. It's like price dropped into this fair value gap, which is an institutional level, rejecting back within the particular range, which is this swing low right here to this particular swing high. So confirming that institutional order flow is actually bullish. So this is how institutional order flow blended with market structure can keep you on the right side of the market. So let's actually go down to the lower time frame to actually refine this particular entry. So right here on the 1 hour, we can see that price has rallied aggressively to the buy side, and we can see the range I was speaking about clearly from the 4 hours right here on the 1 hour. So here's the swing low and here's the swing high. So price trade all the way into that fair value gap and rejected back into the range right here. So creating what we know here as an inversion fair value gap right here. So what we want to see is we want to see price trade probably into this particular inversion fair value gap and giving us a break of structure that will confirm that we are truly going to keep seeing price go to the bullish side. So let's see what price does. We can see how price traded into this particular inversion fair value gap, and you can see the various weak rejection around this particular area. So right now we can see that price has broken structure right here. So we can actually have our entry right here, putting our stops below this particular low right here. So let's frame our entry. So here we have our entry and our stops below this particular low. So where's going to be our area of target? So we could aim for this particular high right here. Or we could actually aim for the liquidity pools on the 4 hours, which is this series of highs right here, also known as low resistance liquidity run. So let's see what price does. And there you have it. So you can see how price traded all the way from this particular inversion fair value gap on the 1 hour directly into that particular low resistance liquidity run, which is also a liquidity pool, because it's a series of equal highs and equal lows, and also known as draw on liquidity. So this is how you can identify liquidity and trade on the right side of the market. So you can see right here also we went from running liquidity to taking out liquidity right here. So the market makers paired buy and sell orders right here and took out buy and sell orders above this particular high right here. So here is another example on GBP JPY on the 4 hours. So we can see the market structure is currently bearish and would expect price to keep going lower, attacking this particular low. So let's see what price does. So we can see how price came down to this particular low. Instead of displacing through it, we saw a run on liquidity and market shifted to the upside, giving us a break of structure right there. So right now we want to see reasons for price to keep pushing all the way to the buy side. So let's see what price does. So right now we can see the price has run liquidity below this particular low right here, and a lot of people would have been carried away thinking this is a break of structure, especially before this candle closes. But I want you to know that we already have an underlying narrative in price. In other words, we're already starting from this particular low and we've seen a market structure shift to the buy side. So any run on liquidity that's not aggressive or show a form of displacement, that shouldn't be considered as a market structure shift. That should just be seen as a liquidity sweep, a liquidity grab or stop hunt. So what we want to see now, we want to see a break of structure above the high right there. So let's see what price does. And there we have it. So zooming in, we can see things clearly. The price has actually broken structure right here. From this particular area right now, we can confidently have our entry, placing our stops below this particular low right here. Our exit is going to be at this next point of liquidity. So here is going to be our draw on liquidity. So we're going to extend this all the way to that area. Let's see what price does. And there you have it. So here's a proof that I entered the trade. So you can see my trade history, my entry, my exits, my entry, my exits, my entry, my exits. I was entering at every run on liquidity and I was aiming for this liquidity here to the buy side, which is a draw on liquidity. So the other thing you want to really focus on after you've identified market structure and institutional order flow is that you want to know the next draw on liquidity, because that's going to keep you on the right side of the market. And for the draw on liquidity for this particular trade was identified on the daily time frame. As you can see, this area is a fair value gap. So you can see the way price trade all the way from this sell side liquidity, the break of structure, pushing all the way to that particular fair value gap right there. And also the same idea was employed while trading the AUD JPY on the 4 hours. Aside identifying our institutional order flow and market structure, we also had our draw on liquidity in mind, which is this low resistance liquidity run right here. And you can see the way price traded all the way to that particular draw on liquidity. So this is how you can go on to frame setups using liquidity by identifying the market structure, institutional order flow, and the next draw on liquidity. So if you found value in today's video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and see you in more videos.